This is the Night Owls Disc Golf Podcast. I'm Shane.
And I'm JP.
And I went back and forth on what we should talk about. Chiropractors was one of the biggest thoughts. But we won't do that because I went to a bone breaker, I don't know, like Monday, and it did wonders. I've never been to one in my life. I'm 40 years old almost.
I don't know if bone breaker is the right term. He wasn't breaking you.
Bone cracker?
Yeah, cracker.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
just, yeah. That sounds fine.
Whatever. Are you triggered because I said that?
No. I just was hoping that he didn't hurt you in any way. That you were
not
officially broken.
Officially, not that I know. I mean, like it might have been stuff while I was asleep, but he didn't put me asleep either.
That sounds great too.
You know how it
He
goes.
put me in asleep and adjusted me.
Yeah. That sounds like a horrible video on the internet.
It does.
The chiropractor put me asleep and adjusted me. Okay, so here we go. We're going to talk about Ben Kurowski. So he is a member of our parliament, which is our team. But he also is a PDGA approved discs junkie.
Yeah, I think he likes to go find and see, like he likes to track what discs are being approved and whatnot, and guessing at what the dimensions mean and finding what, giving speed ratings and things like that.
Right. So this is kind of stuff that gives him sanity, I'd assume, because he bought a house recently and he's been living the joys of homeownership with he had some flooding issues. He had so all this stuff is just sucks,
Yeah.
And you kind of, encourage folks that buy a new house and things happen is hey, at least it's yours, I don't know how much, comfort that gives him, but it's true. You're not paying for someone else's junk. It's your junk now.
Yeah, right.
So always a good thing. But all right, so he brought up a thing about, I love his stance, but so he tagged the podcast in it. So I figure it's okay for us to talk about it. If it's not, Ben, oh well. No, if you don't want us to talk about it, we won't talk about it. This will just be our last one. So he said there have been 128 discs approved so far by the PDGA.
This year,
yeah. So, or for PDGA use, official PDGA use.
Okay.
So, putters and approaches, there have been 35. Fairways and distance, there have been 34. Distance, there's been 34. Fairway, there's been 34. And distance, there's been 34. And mids, there's been 25. Asterisk. 5 of them were Franklin discs. So,
man, they're coming up. They're coming up in the game.
Exactly.
5 new mids.
So we'll say 20 new mids. We're approved.
Nobody's gonna know where to find them.
Exactly. And I think the Blackbird, or was it the Blackhawk? It was a Franklin, the original Franklin mid. I think it was called the Blackbird, or I think that's what it was called.
What's funny is I found a Franklin disc out on Sister Bay's course one day. Really? There was a driver. I forgot what it's called, but it was the weirdest plastic. It was kind of like Star Plastic, but I was like, yeah, whatever.
I had some Franklin discs that, this was way back in the day, but they were 3D printed hard, knock on them and they were would kill someone hard.
Yeah.
Unthrowable. They were horrible. But I still had them. Still like to throw them. So, I didn't like to throw them. I just threw them. So his question is, and let's have this discussion. Do you believe that it is the death of the mid-range? Do you think it is slowly dying, or do you have some other answer?
I think it's probably slowly dying. And I was watching Someone's in the Bag, or I've heard somebody mention it recently, that pros are really no longer throwing mid-ranges. They're just taking fairway drivers and kind of using them for those shorter distances, and maybe just using their speed control or angle control more to act as mid-ranges rather than rather than bagging mid-ranges.
When you can throw a putter 400 feet, do you really need to bag a mid-range?
Right. Or you just throw your overstable putter, or, that acts as a mid-range or whatever.
Yeah.
I still like to carry my, buzzes. I have my mutant. I have Origin. I'm not throwing that as much because I can now throw one of my buzzes that's pretty understable. But I do see that they could be finding that, I don't know, hole in the ground.
Yeah. So I think I see it differently. I think the progression of mids out of bags is because of the course design. I think you're going to see a lot of mids thrown at Ledgestone.
Okay.
I think you're going to see a lot of mids thrown. What, Mid-America? We never did our Mid-America
picks. Never did our Mid-America picks. No. Maybe we'll get to that.
Right.
I did. Well, it's fun. A couple holes at D-Glow, I did see people throwing mids. I thought I saw a couple people throwing buzzes or rocks or here
and there's not a lot of woods on that course. There's maybe 3 holes that are really wooded.
Yeah.
That would require a long straight throw that couldn't bail left or right.
But like you said, most people are probably using a putter for that throw rather than throwing it. Yeah.
Right. I think we'll see a different story when it comes to Northwoods Black.
Sure.
I honestly think we're going to see a ton more mids out there. So I think it's just the design of the course. And on the second note, I think mids have been so heavily prized for so long that when you look at lineups for disc golf companies, there's a ton of mids out there, a ton. There's really a lot of mids and a lot of drivers when you look at a lot of places. Fairway drivers are kind of the unsung heroes at this. Well, stepchildren. They're kind of that redheaded stepchild, People don't really, because, you look at something like an EMAC or a Buzz, like the Leopard, the FD, you look at some of these really high profile mids, and then you get up into control driver drivers. I don't think these fairway drivers are really given a fair shake because a lot of people can throw their EMACs, their Buzzes, their name the, mid of choice, just as far as they can throw their fairways.
Sure.
And they don't have as much finish. Until you beat the fairway in, and then the fairway won't have as much finish as well.
Right.
And there's not as much movement on a Buzz or a mid-range. But I don't have the spin of a pro. I don't have the torque or spin of a pro. So I think those 2, maybe 3 reasons, but those 2 reasons for sure that I think the market is flooded with mids, choices of mids. So what are you going to do with a new mid? We have super overstable, super understable, and we have all the straight flyers in the middle. And fairways are an underrepresented class of discs.
Okay.
I think those 2 things are the reasons why I think, no, they're not dying, but they're not being produced as much because they're flooded.
That could be.
So, I don't know. Speculation.
That's just, that's speculation. But I do like the take on course design because courses are getting longer, and yet people can throw their mids really far, and they can definitely throw their fairways even further, or they can just power down on the fairways. But I think, like you said, once you get into the wooded, so I forgot what hole was it. D-Glow. Simon threw an FD on a fairly, towards the end, I want to say it was hole 15. It was downhill, basket just off to the left. And he threw his FD. He didn't throw it hard. A lot of people were throwing mid-ranges. Corey Ellis, I think, threw his Buzz SS and parked it next to the basket pretty easily. So I think the art of throwing the mid-range perhaps is still there, but people just, like you said, aren't choosing it because of course design.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think it may be because you think of the progression of disc golf. So this is a far reach, but I think it has some pertinence to it. So you look at the progression of disc golf. The Valkyrie used to be one of the best throwers you could do. And then the Orc, one of the farthest throwers. And then on and on. So you think of the progression of it, and a lot of those became useless to the high-end throwers or the top-end throwers, because they simply have no use for that understable of a disc or that uncontrollable of a disc.
Sure.
So when we talk about how disc progress compared to the player, I think you're right when you talk about touch. There's few players out there that still rely, like Michael Joe is talking about. And by the way, I'm super excited about the Ledgestone Z Sparkle Comet that's coming out, or Metallic Sparkle Comet, or Glow. It's like this crazy blend Comet. I'm excited about that. But, Michael Johansson just laces lines with these Comets. He can put it on. I mean, they're just fantastic. He's the best Comet thrower I've ever seen. Or mid thrower, in my opinion, that I've ever seen. Paul's pretty good at throwing mids. But I think people have just lost the art, because everybody that throws mids now, what do they throw? They throw zones. They throw culprits. They throw verdicts. They throw overstable mids that don't allow that flip over. If they crank on it, angle's not the greatest. It's not going to stay on that angle. It's going to try to come back. You have to be very good at keeping angle and distance control with mids. Fairways, you don't.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it. Maybe the finesse in the game is gone. And I think it also has to do with course design, like you said, because there is, where's the finesse in the game anymore? You're throwing as hard as you possibly can once or twice and then putting.
Yeah.
There's when do you ever see Paul XT Nova anymore? You know what I mean? That beautiful stroke where it's just this nice, beautiful line, from 150 out, like a touch shot. You don't see it.
Yeah, and even there was a shot downhill at D-Glow where he could have probably thrown. It was like he's trying to get to a landing zone and then make it up to another hole. Up to the basket. I forgot what hole it was. And instead of he could have gotten further if he decided to throw a buzz or a mid-range, but he threw his Luna off the hole and just landed it, and then he went for the longer shot with a fairway or whatever it was. And it's okay, is it better to get that extra distance or just place that shot with your putter?
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah. But people have talked about at D-Glow, they only carry, they've carried maybe a mid, as a rescue. And that's it. It was fairways, drivers, and putters.
Yeah.
And that was all they did. So there you go. So the death of the mid. Maybe.
I also think it depends on skill level, for sure. Because, there's still a good, healthy amount of people that in the lower ranks that throw mids. I think it's a control thing, too. Because, once you're, if I were to throw, an FD through the woods, that's fine. I get kind of worried because of the it's just faster, so I will throw my buzz on the FU tree hole. I would prefer to throw a putter or my mid just because I feel like I have a little more control and it just doesn't have that kick,
right?
And it'll just hold the line a little better and not fade. With the high speed driver, you're gonna get that. Granted, it'll go down the alley further, but you're gonna get that ridiculous. If it hits a tree, it's going to kick so much further than your putter or your mid, off the fairway. So that's kind of a reason why I throw them as well.
One of my
situations.
If I were to teach people how to play disc golf, one of the things that I always tell them is the slowest disc you can possibly throw to do the job. And the reason why it's going to reduce the error. It's going to reduce error because if you put a putter offline, it's not going to go that far offline. You put a mid offline, it'll go a little further offline than a putter, but not that far. You put a fairway, it's going to go a little bit further. You put a driver, it's going to be gone.
Yeah.
It's going to go way offline. It's going to go offline quick. So you got to hope for a good kick to kick you back to fairway or anything. But if you nick a tree, that driver's gone. It's pushing way into the brush. You nick it with a putter, it's not going to go that far. So I agree with you. The slowest is to do the job. Now, I throw a fairway driver on the hole that you throw. You say you throw either a putter or a mid on the FU tree. But I do it just so I get that last skip at the end. So I'm trying to go for the make on that hole. if I'm going for a conservative play in a tournament, I'm throwing a mid down that alley every time. But when we play league, it's felon every time because I want that skip.
Sure.
Grass is always too long to get a skip, but I want that skip because I want that ace. That's the only pin position that has been in on that hole that I haven't hit the ace yet.
Okay.
So the other two I hit the ace on. I want that ace, but yeah. So there you go. I don't know if I have anything else to add.
No, I don't really either.
Go out and buy fairwaydoordisc.com. We got plenty of them.
Not pushing mids.
Not at all.
We're just gonna help that
Exactly.
slowly die.
We don't want it to die. We want mids to thrive. So I should have looked up our sales figures on what type of discs sell the most.
That'd been good.
That would have been a better.
indicator.
Yeah, maybe next time.
Yeah.
So
What's your favorite mid? Comet.
it's either Comet or EMAC, but I think the Comet. If I had to choose, I don't know. Yeah, Comet.
Okay. Yeah.
Comet. So, and I think I do it just because it's different. Nobody really throws Comets.
Yeah. You know what I saw in the store the other day that I was surprised? Soul.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a Soul. I don't really even know anybody that throws them, really.
PP.
Well, yeah. It is a PP Soul. But outside of, like, her, like, I don't know anybody.
I've never seen anybody.
Yeah. It's weird.
I have a.
I feel like people would rather throw that Comet or what's the next, like, one that's similar to the Comet? Meteor. Yeah, Meteor.
Yeah, that's way more understable than a Comet, but it's a good throwing disc.
Yeah.
It's a nice little touchy, just throw it real easy and it just goes.
Yeah, I think I have a couple of Vanessa Van Dyken ones at home.
Okay.
That I've Z ones, Z sparkles.
Brody Smith used to throw it.
Did
which
he?
Absolutely blows my mind.
Okay.
He doesn't throw it anymore because I think he's well past it. Like his main is a zone, I think. I think he throws a buzz. Very rarely. It's a zone now. But speaking of Brody Smith, moving up in the ranks.
Yeah, top 10.
Top 10 twice. And
He qualified for USDGC.
yeah, and he moved up 16 spots in the world rankings.
16?
16.
Holy cow.
Eat it, Tyler. 16 spots. So he's like 34 now. Something like that.
Get out. Wow.
It could happen. It could happen. I hit him up on Twitter and I said, just keep your run going because I got bets that you're going to end in the top 10 by the end of the year. He never responded back.
Did they change their name? Off subject, but there was Debate Night was going to change their name
I heard that. I don't know if
because
they did or
they
didn't.
don't debate anymore.
They don't. They never did.
No.
Because they were like, they're too nice.
Right.
I thought about reaching out and just being like, I'll debate you. Like, whatever you say, I'm going to say whatever's different. Like, I don't have a problem with that. It would have been fun.
Podcast duel.
Exactly. We should. By the way, Creators Cup next year, 2023. Where are you at? All right.
We should give our picks.
Oh, yeah. I don't have that pulled up. The Mid-America Open?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. So, Mid-America Open is happening this weekend, along with the Silver Cup here at Silver Creek and Rolling Ridge. Hold on. Is Pro Night going to Rolling Ridge?
I don't know.
Pro Weekend? Did they take... They might have taken Rolling Ridge off.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's sponsored by Rolling Ridge. Silver Cup is actually sponsored by Rolling Ridge.
Oh, then.
So it must be 2 and 2.
Yeah, I would assume so. Then I know they did for a while because they had that water issue, but we haven't had any water. Like
This morning we had like a quarter of an inch, maybe.
Yeah. So Mid-America
at Harmony Bends.
Mid-America Open Silver Series, and it is this weekend. So let's see who we want to pick. Why can't I not find it? Okay, here we go. So the MPO. Oh man, I gotta figure this out. There's really not that many. Jeremy Colling's there, which is cool.
Or sort by rating. It's easier. Like Gannon Burr's there.
I gotta go.
Let's see. Drew Gibson.
Okay.
Zachariah Johnson. Alden Harris. There's some decent people playing.
Burr, Klein, Freeman, Gibson, Barella, Girthy, Isaac Robinson, Clemens, Bradley Williams, Cole Redolin. Okay, here we go. I am going to take as my third place Radalin. He has been showing strokes of brilliance recently, so I'm hoping that he can show something. And I'm a huge fan of DD, and he is a DD sponsored person. I am going to take
Cole Radalin is not DD sponsored.
Isn't he?
You're thinking of
Gavin Rathbun. Oh my goodness, Cole Radalin is the free agent,
he's
right?
Infinite, yeah.
Infinite, yeah. Okay, I lied. And I like Cole Radalin in Infinite, I guess. I'm going to take Klein as number one. And you know what? I feel that Gibby's going to come back and podium. He's due, and I feel it. He's going to do it.
Who is this?
Gibson.
Oh, okay.
But don't give me that look.
No.
Don't stop it. You furrowed your brow.
No. I mean, that's not really that hot of a take. I don't think.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Where has he been the last tournaments?
He just took off.
Oh,
he didn't go to Europe at all.
Well,
he stayed here.
Thanks for ruining my thoughts then.
Well, whatever. That's cool. I gotta say, I don't know if he played D. No, he was at D-Glow. I don't know where he placed.
Yeah.
I think he got 15th at D-Glow.
Okay. See?
But the only reason I know that is because I had to check Skip Ace and make sure that I got back on top.
All right. Oh, you did?
Yeah. You actually...
I'm not doing too bad.
You were 7-0 this week, and I was 6-1. But I beat Tyler, so that's all that really matters.
Yeah. Especially with him, like, he's really paying attention to it, too.
Yeah,
I think you two are the only two that are paying attention to it now.
Yeah.
I mean, I jump on every once in a while, but okay.
Okay. So for third place, I am going to pick Isaac Robinson.
Ooh. I saw his name, and I thought about it.
All right. Second place, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to pick... Zacharias Johnson.
Okay.
I think it's his home course. Harmony Bends is like his home course, so I think he plays pretty well there. And then
is Brody? Is the Bro Dog?
I thought I saw his. Oh no, I saw Evan Smith.
There, because Brody's like 10, 20 something now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's moved up.
Yeah.
Okay, so
almost top 10.
He's not here. Okay, and number one, I'm going to pick Joel Freeman.
Okay, there's our picks. So I picked Klein, Gibson, Radalin. JP picked Freeman, Johnson, Robinson, Zacharias Johnson, and Robinson, Isaac Robinson. So
neither of us went with Gannon. I was thinking about Gannon, and I was like, well, I'm just going to be different.
I don't know. I think he's flustered now with time violations being called. So we're going to... That's what I think. So are we going to pick FPL? We never do, but are we going to pick it?
I mean, we could. We haven't been, but we could. Okay.
Yeah. Let's why not? Why not? With the controversy in, let's do it. So you pick first then.
Okay. Third place, I'm going to pick Sarah Holcomb.
Oh. Nah. Go ahead.
Are you mixing up who's on what side there?
Okay.
Second place, I'm going to pick Holly Finley. And first place, I'm going to pick Cat Merch. Oh.
That
chiropractor.
Yeah.
Didn't need the chiropractor for that one.
Okay. So I am going to do Ronsley in third, Dean Carey in second, and Merch in first as well.
Deanne Carey, is that who you said?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Right? Did I got her name right?
She's in there.
Hey, I saw Matt Haney, and yeah, look at him. Fond du Lac. Matt Haney is in the field.
Oh, for MPO?
Yeah, for MPO.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, all right. There we go. I got to point it out because elephant in the room, I'm not picking Ryan simply because I think there's way too much mental controversy going on right now that I think it's going to throw her off the game. So,
I did notice that she was in the field.
yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I think, yeah, like you said, I think the media attention isn't quite cooled down enough for her to like kind of ride the high.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she very well could like probably finish top 10.
Yeah.
I don't think that it doesn't look like there's that strong of a field either, but she'll probably be up there.
Oh, yeah. I think so. So we had the question of whether she has ever competed PDGA in a men's from 2019, which is where her PDGA number is from. No, she has not.
Okay.
She's only competed in women's events. So there you go. All right. We out here. Mm-hmm. OnlyFans?
Someday it'll...
Don't hold your breath, guys, because right now he's just being a tease. That's it.
Yeah, you should see how big of a tease I am on my OnlyFans.
See? Wow. And he just admitted he has OnlyFans too. By the way, should we start a Patreon?
We've been talking about it.
I don't know, because like it would be cool to have like better equipment and like and stuff, and then we could do big giveaways with the money that we would.
Maybe we just need to start making some commercials or
accepting sponsorships or something like that.
Yeah, we have to really put ourselves out there.
The problem is with sponsorships is then we're accountable to people.
Yeah.
And for what we say, I don't know if I want that.
Yeah. We don't want that pressure.
No, I don't think it's worth it.
No.
I don't think it's worth it at all. Anyways, keep us apart. Peace.